Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to my video. Today we're going to be talking about 5 ways to boost your DPS. And the reason why I'm making this video is because DPS is one of those things that in raids and in Mythic Plus dungeons is if you're not doing enough of it and something goes wrong, maybe there's a wipe at 1% or you don't make the timer in a Mythic Plus dungeon, chances are the first thing that the raid leader is going to look at, or the party leader is going to look at, is basically who is underperforming. And if you're at the bottom of the list, there's a good chance you're probably going to get kicked out. I know I've been in that situation. It's so embarrassing, guys. It's so embarrassing to be singled out. Like, oh my God, Convict's on the bottom again. He's doing bad DPS. He's one of the reasons why we can't down this guy. Remove him. It's a really bad situation to be in. It's very embarrassing, guys. So today I'm going to be giving you my top 5 tips on how to increase your DPS. And I really hope you guys find this video informative. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, tip number 5, practice your rotation. Now if there's one thing that I really like to do, I don't know if it's just me and if I'm weird or whatever, but when I'm not doing anything in WoW, I log in, basically raid doesn't start for another couple of hours. I've already done my quest and all that. One thing I like to do is go basically onto a target dummy and I practice my rotation so that I know exactly where my DPS is. Also, I like to know how my build is working out, and then that way when raid night comes, you're not the guy at the bottom of the DPS meters, and you're not the guy getting chewed out, like, oh my God, this guy's doing so bad DPS again, he doesn't know what he's doing, maybe we need to kick him out. So yeah, tip number 5, guys, practice your rotation. You won't regret it. Like the old motto goes, practice makes. Alright guys, tip number 4 is going to be pre-potting. Make sure that you guys are pre-potting before you pull the boss, and then also make sure you're potting after the boss has been pulled, of course during a burn phase, like when you're about to kill the boss, or when the raid leader calls for heroism. Make sure you are using your pots, because pre-potting and then potting during the fight is a huge increase to your DPS. So tip number 4 is always make sure you're pre-potting to get the max DPS out of your pool. Perfect. Alright guys, moving on to tip number 3 is make sure you're using a flask. Now a flask is really important because it increases your primary stat by 1300 for 1 hour. So tip number 3 is if you haven't been using a flask, make sure to check out your auction house and buy some flask, guys. It definitely is a big difference between doing low DPS and good DPS. So tip number 3, make sure to buy a flask. Make sure to use a flask for raids. Alright guys, tip number 2 is make sure that you're using consumable, a rune, and also most importantly make sure that you're enchanting your gear to maximize your DPS. A consumable and a rune might seem like something small on the surface, but trust me guys, it could be the difference between being at the bottom of the DPS meters and being at the top of the DPS meters. So tip number 2 is make sure that you're always using a consumable, a rune, and of course that you're enchanting your gear for the max amount of DPS for your guy. Alright guys, moving on to our final tip. Tip number 1 is you want to make sure that you're always upgrading your relics on your weapon, because the item level of the relic on your weapon determines how much damage per second your weapon is doing. And also you want to make sure that you're unlocking your 3rd artifact slot as soon as possible, because an extra slot in there means that you can fit another relic in there, which increases your the DPS in your weapon even more. And also make sure that you're farming whenever you have the chance. When you log into WoW, you have nothing to do, make sure that you're constantly farming artifact power. That way you can fill the traits on your weapon. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video if you enjoyed it. I am going to be posting some more Death Knight videos in the next couple of weeks. I do try to post videos every other week when I have time, but I do appreciate all the new subscribers to my channel and all the views that I've been getting so far to my videos. Definitely means a lot to me. So Anyway, until next video, guys, I'll talk to you guys later.